I'm wearing my little hat today.
Yeah, that was our hat from Cupcake Royale's.
Cupcake Royale. What a hoot
It was hilarious.
That was.
The Gospel Brunch.
The Gospel Brunch with Divas.
The Diva Gospel Brunch, yeah.
And
awesome.
What a really, really fun gathering of people.
Yeah, it was great.
What I do love about that particular community, the gay community. Here, we'll give Mary some snaz.
Way to go, Mary. Today's your day, baby girl.
Oh, well, it's not enough to...
It's We Love Theology Wednesday.
What I love about that community is so many different people were in that room.
Yeah, and everyone was happy to be who they were.
And everyone was welcomed.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
no one flinched. And you laughed and you ate.
Good food.
We raised money for a really cool cause.
Yeah.
Which, tell what it is.
It's a drop-in center for LGBTQ teens who need support because they're having a really hard time with their own identities. And sometimes their families and sometimes their churches are not accepting of who they are. And so this is a chance for them to get some counseling and get some friendship and get some encouragement.
And know that they're not alone. And on that note, I'm wearing my shirt from Africa, and I wrote on my cup, Hi. Tende.
Tende. Hi.
Tende. And I've never said his name. I've never heard him say his name because I only know him on Facebook.
It could be Tendai.
Tendai. But he always writes Hi, H-I-E, when we're writing on Facebook. And he's over in the country of Africa. Mm-hmm. And the continent of Africa. Well, I'm not saying because it's not a real safe place.
Oh, bless.
It's not a real safe place for gay folk in Africa. And he's reaching out to some young people who are completely and utterly feel lost and alone. And he's kind of gathered a group together to do support and relationships and friends. Yeah. And so I promised him, yesterday we were talking about prayer.
Mm-hmm. And look, I drew a prayer on my cup.
Okay, you have a wordless prayer of joy and
I'm knitting
journey,
and I'm knitting a prayer right now.
So you're still doing prayer.
I'm still in the stage of doing.
You're just doing prayer.
Sometimes my words don't. I mean, you have to be intentional with it. You can't just say, "Oh well, were you praying today?" Yeah, I was cleaning my house, but you could be just cleaning your house, or you could be cleaning your house intentionally and praying. So. Yeah.
So you're doing prayer, and I'm saying prayer, and mine are for Tende and for Patrick and for Viola, who really need our prayers because they feel so alone in a place that's not real friendly or very safe, and so. That's why we gathered last week with Cupcake Royale to make some new stories and to say you're not alone and that there are other stories out there.
And for those of you who are prayers and are Christian prayers, you hold them in the light of God and creatively find the ways to be the hands and feet of Christ in that moment for them if you can. And if not, you hold it up there that someone else will catch it. And do it.
Catch it. I like that idea.
Yeah, that prayer will be...
Do a prayer and someone might catch it.
Yeah, if you can't be there, if you can't be there in person to be the presence of God for them, that somehow your prayer be caught by someone who's near them that's praying, that will catch that and do it.
Cool.
Right, so
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, and what was last Wednesday? What did we spin?
It was the tunis of tuna. And I just want to remind, oops, oh my word, oh my gosh, all our props are falling off. Mary, the thing is, why we bring Mary each week, and I just want to reintroduce Mary, because we like Mary. I love Mary's stories. Mm-hmm. And there's a seminary professor down Austin, Texas way who wrote a book with some other women theologians looking at a Protestant perspective of Mary. Wow, because we've not given Mary a lot of time or space. Mm-hmm. And Catholics have a whole different experience or relationship with Mary. And she's saying, well, we're not going to ever have that relationship, but we shouldn't ignore her either.
Right.
So part of our show, being a little bit funny, but also putting Mary right front and center on Wednesdays. And
because she ponders many things in her heart. And she thinks. And we ponder when we think about God, which is to think about God, to study God is theology. Theo is God, ology is the study of. So we have Wheel of Theology Wednesday, and who better to host that wheel in her halo of thoughts than Mary.
So I think it's kind of what we're doing is honoring what Mary might have thought herself. Mm-hmm. She had to be a pretty deep woman and had to think about a lot of these things.
I just realized we're out of marshmallows.
We are out of marshmallows, so we'll leave you being cool today, Mary. Today.
It's your turn to spin.
Okay,
so we have the trueness of Christ, fully human, fully divine. That was fun.
Okay, so here we go. We've got to move it up a little bit. We'll hit the wall here. Oh my, that was kind of sad.
That was sad.
Mysticism. This is really cool. We have not gotten the same word twice yet.
And how perfect that mysticism would come right after we were talking about wordless prayers.
Woo!
It was mystical.
That is, it was mystical.
Yeah. Mysticism. So what is your sort of background on the mysticism?
You know, the word mystic wasn't a real big word down in East Texas.
Was it not?
We had a girls' camp called Camp Mystic.
Ooh.
But I only drove by it.
We have Mystic Island near here.
Mystic.
Yeah.
So the word is kind of like mystery.
Yeah, it's like
is mystery. It a mystery?
Yeah, but I believe mysticism. Wow, I had a course in mysticism, and I can't remember like the exact definition, but it's when people have a personal experience with the divine. So mystics are people who have visions.
And you can't put...
It's ineffable. You cannot really explain what happened.
So it's sort of like our prayers. Sometimes you just can't put words to it.
Right.
It's beyond us.
The experience is usually partly physical. Mm-hmm. You know, things will happen that are mystical. So it's like miracles. Real. I mean, so I think miracles would be in the realm of the mystic. But the mystic experience is usually when someone has this event that transforms them.
You know what?
What?
Remember last week?
Yeah.
And I said something and then I forgot immediately what it was. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, you remember?
A church member who said something brilliant and I forgot.
Now you remember it?
I remembered.
Oh, cool! That was mystical.
And now I remember now
What is
because it is about this.
Okay.
Someone asked, why do you go to church? You didn't go to church for so many years. Why did you start going now? Mm-hmm. And he said, it makes me look outside myself. Mm. If I don't go and be with other people, I get so self-oriented that it helps me look beyond myself. And I think mysticism is allowing God to be beyond our own words and thinking.
Definitely.
And it makes us look beyond our own cultures. It's going to come into play tomorrow when we talk about hell, this very conversation. Where mysticism is God's way of saying it's so much bigger than you,
than this experience,
than your person, than your culture, than your perspective. Yeah. And it's a scary thing, but it's also an exciting thing. Mm-hmm. Mystic.
And I think that, some people are more comfortable with the mystic. That's really kind of the Holy Spirit. It's things that you can't explain. It's things that can't always be expressed in words. It's and some people are very scared by it. And so I think as certainly for church, we have to balance the two of them.
Right.
Because in any given congregation, you're going to have people who are quite mystical, and you're going to have people who would rather just think about the historical.
Well, historically, Presbyterianism has not been a real... Well, Protestant faith in America has not been real keen to
except
I keep using that word, keen.
We need to bring that word back.
Keen. Where's that? I haven't said that word in years. What
keen,
is that about?
I used to say keen instead of neat or cool. But
we're not real comfortable. Right. We hadn't been real comfortable with mysticism.
The religions that are more about mysticism would be the Quakers and the Shakers, and certainly the Catholic, and then more recently the Pentecostal. Okay, so, but I think that now we have a lot more sharing. There's a lot more things in the Presbyterian Church that are a bit more high church.
It is, but it's still not. When we say the word Pentecostal or another faith, it's not even relegated to that. I think Presbyterians kind of get nervous. We don't want to have all this outward show.
Well, it's a little bit scary because you don't know what it is. Yeah.
But for me, it's even more intellectual or something that is beyond your comprehension.
Well, I think something truly mystical you can't bring on yourself.
There you go.
Okay.
That might be a good spot.
You might want to open up your space to the possibility of something mystical happening, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Open up the possibility. Say that one more time before we leave.
Open up the possibility for a mystical happening that will transform you. I think it's in the transformation is really how you know it's God. If it's transforming you for your faith to be stronger.
So maybe open it up. Maybe another way is don't push it away.
Don't
run away from something that you don't quite understand. You might experience something pretty deep.
Yeah, especially if you're doing this through the lens of what God is saying to you.
Mary, you're a pretty deep thinker.
Yeah, she is. She's pondering it.
She is pondering it. She's making us, helping us to ponder things. And we hope that you have a mystical, wonderful day. And remember that you are loved. Yeah. Remember you're loved. Especially when you don't feel connected and you feel lost.
And you don't always feel it, so you do have to sometimes remember it. But maybe you'll feel it.
All right. Tell us what you think. Have a good day.
Very ungraciously get up and sing.